really, when I started getting into personal development, it really helped me impact not only myself, but impact others. And at the end of the day, what legacy do you want to leave?
I didn't think I would ever do a fucking podcast. I didn't ever imagine doing that. It made me realize that my purpose is to help others reach the goals and reach their full capacity. And if I can impact somebody's life, that is bigger than money. That is bigger than anything else.
Welcome to Livestream. I'm your host, Dr. Alex Plains, with my co-host, Jeremy Applegate, where we teach you how to stream your life.
What's going on, bud?
What's up, Jeremy? How are you today?
Doing good. How you doing?
Good, man. You know, the other day we were just talking about something, and you brought up a good point.
I always bring up good points. What do you mean?
You got at least one a day. That's for sure. That's for sure. You definitely got one a day. So it was something in regards to, just help me remember. It was in regards to filters.
Yeah, why put filters on yourself? Like, we go through Instagram and people are always putting filters on their videos, on their images. Just be you.
Yeah, but you said it very powerful recently. It was like, I believe everyone has a filter on themselves.
Just like that? That's exactly how I said that?
Just like that. And it was just so powerful and so meaningful to me.
Yeah.
Because you're right. You know, little by little, we're losing the inside of our natural beauty and who we are and what we're meant to do. And, you know, today we're going to be talking about personal and self-development and why it's so important to have that confidence to be yourself.
And let's clarify, okay? Being yourself is important, but blurting out the mouth anytime you have something pop in your head is not always the best thing or the best course of action either. So
since we last spoke, I know a couple months ago I told you to start doing the cold showers. How is that going for you?
You gonna bring that up again? I'm a person of consistency.
You've been doing it?
Yes.
Every morning?
Every morning.
Amen, bro. See, this is the type of power that you get when you go ahead and you make small changes in your life. How do you feel after those cold showers?
Cold as hell.
Cold as hell.
But, you know, it works.
It does work. It does work. I don't do the cold showers completely. I do put the water warm, and then I change it to cold, and then I change to warm, and then I change to cold.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult, but, I mean, life changes are difficult sometimes.
They are.
But they're there for a reason. They're there to improve your purpose, improve your focus, improve your self-accountability. And help with self-development.
Yeah, like I was listening, one of the best books I've ever listened to is David Goggins, Can't Hurt Me. I mean, this book, David Goggins, if you guys are not familiar, you guys should follow him. He's amazing.
How can they not be familiar with David Goggins?
There's some people that don't know who David Goggins is, believe it or not. But he's amazing. I mean, his story, the ability of his storytelling, the way he is confident enough to share his story, but he wasn't that guy. He wasn't that guy before. And you know, it's never too late to adapt and make the necessary changes to change the way you live your life or what your goals and objectives are. For him, it's just to be unstoppable and be the best at everything he does. And one thing that it was listening to that book make me realize, like, man, you're being soft, Alex. Like, you're complaining about a team member leaving you, and this guy is there running 100-mile races, you know?
I think that you need to understand. You got to compartmentalize everything, you know, because some things are, like you just said, like, why am I complaining about that? I'm being a little baby about that. When he's doing this huge thing, and I'm putting that little tiny thing inside in the same category as that monster thing.
Exactly. Everyone that you talk to, you know, you talk to Ed Milet, the moment that his dad passed away, and he realized, like, that will be the last time he would see his dad. You know, Alex Hormozi, with the relationship of him and his father and the expectations that his father had of him to get a professional degree, and he went in with a completely different routes into fitness, and he's worth over $100 million. So, you know, everyone has their story. So not everyone is going to have this story that's portrayed on Instagram, that everything is just perfect. That is not the truth. It takes hard work, discipline, and perseverance. And if anyone out there is facing major challenges and adversity, and, you know, the business is not doing well, or you can get approved for that loan, or your merchant credit card processing machine has been declined because of something that happened in the past, either a bankruptcy or a bad business decision, there's always going to be a brighter day, but you got to stay consistent with your message and what you're trying to accomplish.
And I think that we talk to doctors, through Lifestream U and through Implants for All Institute about self-development. And it's a foreign concept to them. And guys, I'm telling you, self-development is necessary. How can you get your team to exceed expectations when you are half-assing it?
Exactly.
And it just doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Yeah, I mean, when I tell people I paid $10,000 or $15,000 to go to,
they say you're crazy.
They say I'm crazy. Yeah, they say
Sorry
I'm
to cut you
crazy.
off there.
But the only way that you're gonna and sometimes you don't really learn as much as the value of the program did, but you're definitely gonna learn one important move, one important decision, one important change that you need to make in order to get to the next level. It's like Ed Milet says, all it takes is one more decision, one more move, one more change.
I love how you said that.
So, and it can make a life change. It can make a life change. Like just with the Implants for All side, we made one change in the way we did our call process, and how many more consults are we generating? And it was just a small little tweak. Or sometimes we were talking yesterday in our car ride that some employees are in the wrong position, and if you shift them to a different role, they're going to excel.
Yeah, and that's true. And I think that's also part of self-development is working through those situations with those team members. But
Reflection.
And I think that's, yes, reflection is the right word there. I'm going to stop what I was going to say because reflection is the right word there.
So one thing I definitely recommend is if you're, in this side of the space or you want to grow your business, whatever industry you're in, is to take at least 10 or 15 minutes a day to do reflection. I normally do it in the morning, and then I do it at the end of my business day, and then I do it before I go to bed. It's a total of 30 to 45 minutes, give or take, every single day of reflection of what I wanted, what I liked about the day, the changes I want to make, and what I plan to implement moving forward.
Everybody has 10 or 15 minutes every day to do this. If you're trying to come here and you want to post a comment saying, I don't have time to do that, I'm going to call you. I'm going to tell you you're crazy, because everybody has an opportunity to do that.
Just turn off the music, just lower your windows. It's so great when you wake up.
Get off TikTok.
Yes, when you wake up at 5:30, 6 in the morning, lower your window, drive to work. You just get the air, you listen to that voice, you do some meditation, some prayer, and you manifest what you want, right? And then you reflect on the changes and how to get there.
Yes, it's important. I mean, guys, it is so important it's important to the success, right? You might think that you're a successful entrepreneur right now, but what would happen if you open the doors of self-development? What would happen?
Oh, I didn't start honestly working on I did some business coaching, some consulting coaching, but really when I started getting into personal development, it really helped me impact not only myself, but impact others. And at the end of the day, what legacy do you want to leave? Do you want to leave a legacy of being a selfish bastard that doesn't care about the team and didn't care about the kids or whatnot? No, you want to leave a legacy that you can transpire to your children. And the only way that you're going to be able to do that, and as a leader, and the only way that you're going to do that is by evaluating yourself, reflecting in yourself, making the necessary changes, and learning from the best. There's a famous saying that says, look at the 5 people that are closest to you, and that's a reflection of who you are.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, it's the truth. And I think that sometimes owners get caught up in, I'm gonna develop my team, I'm gonna spend all this money, and I'm gonna have a person get in front of, 60 people, and I'm gonna do all this other stuff. That's great. But start with yourself.
You got to start with yourself.
Because once you start with yourself, it's easier for you to sell the idea of self-development. Because listen, people don't value that. I mean, obviously, because we just said, how many people really reflect on yesterday, or how many people driving into work instead of sitting there listening to the radio? Are you preparing yourself for your day? Nobody does that.
No one does that.
It's aggravating.
And all you got to do is do some small changes, very small changes. I mean, I was listening to a book on my way to New York, The 6 Habitual, I forgot the name of it, but it's by Brandon Bouchard. It's 6 Habits of Growth. That's what it's called. And one of them is your focus. And we were talking yesterday about even taking 10 or 15 minutes of your day to completely disconnect. You become a lot more your performance increases by doing that.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody, I mean, there's so much useful information out there. There's so much benefits to self-development. And when you start talking self-development, people are like, oh, I don't, 10 minutes.
10 minutes. That's all you need to do.
So we can do 10 minutes of reflection, and we can do 10 minutes of something else. You're talking about 20 minutes out of, how much are we awake? 16 hours a day we're awake?
Yeah.
You can't take 20 minutes?
Yeah, I mean,
That's just asinine, to be honest with you.
well, you can see, like, when you started your leadership calls with the team,
Yep.
the impact it's had on certain individuals. We're not going to disclose their names, but you mean The Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. And you were like, the other day there was an issue at the office with culture and some, interpersonal
I love
issues
this.
between some team members. And you were like, she is following one of the laws. And I was like, wow, that is amazing. But when we first met, if we evaluate our relationship, me and you, Jeremy, like, we were not doing what we are doing now versus what we were doing years ago. Remember?
Correct.
In 2020, when we first met, we were not doing much personal development.
Absolutely correct. And it was really, and I think that's where entrepreneurs need to understand this. Like, you have to reflect, and you have to say, listen, if I'm going to ask these people to do it, I need to do it as well. And we did. We were like, listen, we want people to develop because it's going to impact our business and it's going to impact them, their career and their personal life. But we can't say, I want you to do this when we're not going to, we're not going to put in the work either. Because it's, even though I said 20 minutes, 20 minutes it's difficult for people to come up with that sometimes.
Yeah, it is. But instead of listening to music and turning on your radio or your Sirius radio, just put on an Audible, put on a podcast. There's so many podcasts out there that are amazing, and they're not that long, 10 or 15 minutes, and you get some major insights of what you should be doing to be a better individual every single day and a great leader.
Yeah, and I think that's where, we go back and we reflect, because we've already changed Livestream U a little bit, but some of Livestream U is going to be Audible too, right?
Yeah.
So people are going to be able to pop us up in the on the app and listen to everything we have to say. That's kind of scary.
Well,
I was just reflecting.
The purpose of this podcast, we're giving complimentary advice.
Yeah.
Whoever's not listening is being an idiot, because you're learning from all the mistakes that I've made, and I'm giving you solutions to fix these problems, very, very quickly. So Dennis, that it took me 9 years to get where I'm at. And if you listen to, this podcast and major, entrepreneurs that I discussed, 90% of them are not dentists, but they build multi-million, sometimes multi-billion-dollar businesses. You should listen and learn from us so you don't make these mistakes that we did.
I 1,000,000% agree with that. I 1,000,000% agree with that. Check us out, because, we're silly sometimes, but, you're going to get some nuggets as well.
All right, Jeremy. Well, thank you. And I hope you guys got some tips and insights in this great podcast. Thank you for coming in today, Jeremy.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good one.